If you're planning to apply UK visitor visa, then you should know that what gov.uk says about the accommodation. So for that, if we go on gov.uk, the only genuine website, and look for the caseworker guidance. This is the visitor visa caseworker guidance. I'll put the link in the description as well. Go down, click on this link. This will take you to the updated guidance. This was updated on 11th November 2025. The caseworker will use this guidance to decide whether to give you the visa or not. Go on section 8, visit, maintenance, accommodation and sponsorship. This explains us that what accommodations requirement are. So we will try to learn and understand what do we mean by overcrowding. Whether the sponsor apartment will be enough to accommodate you. So we will try to understand this thing in this video. Before I go forward, let me show you that I'm creating this video using the open government license from gov.uk. I'm not a solicitor, not a consultant. I'm just showing my journey, that how I have done it. If you wanted to know how to apply, how to fill the application, then go on my channel and watch this video. In this video, I have explained how you can fill the application yourself and how you will submit the documents, mandatory documents, fees, and book the biometric. So this is the complete video which I have explained. I've also showed how to write the cover letter, how I have written the cover letter to apply UK visitor visa. Now to understand how to calculate whether accommodation would be overcrowded or not. For that, we need to understand Housing Act 1985, because according to this, we will come to know what is actually allowed or not. For example, any child under 1 year old not counted. Children between 1 and 10 count as half. If there are two people aged 10 or over, the opposite sex are not a couple, they cannot sleep in the same room. The applicant could provide a floor plan to verify number of available rooms. Now you have two options. Option 1 is go by the area. Option 2, number of rooms. So for example, the floor area of room, if it's 110 square feet or more, then 2 person. 90 square feet but less than 110, then 1.5. 70 square feet, 1 person. 50 square feet or more but less than 70 square feet, half. So if we see the number of rooms in the property, so let's suppose you have 1 room in the property, then 2 person can stay. If you have 2 rooms, then 3 person. If you have 3 rooms, then 5 person. So let's suppose you are trying to invite your uncle, aunt and their daughter. That's 3 people. Now for 3 people and you are husband and wife staying in your own apartment, so you should have at least 3 rooms. So 1 room will be for you couple, 1 room for other couple, and the 3rd room will be for their daughter. If someone is applying for the visitor visa for 5 members, in that case there should be 4 rooms. So 4 rooms for 7.5 people. 5 rooms or more, 2 for each room. That's how the calculation works. Living in the studio flat is acceptable if it's 110 square feet or more and occupied by a couple and their child under the age 1. So let's suppose you only got the studio apartment and you inviting your relatives to come in the UK to stay with you for a week. Then they might not allow you the visa because you don't have enough space. So we need to understand what gov.uk says regarding this. Now let's discuss the exception. There is exception temporary overcrowding. Home Office guidance states that overcrowding will be allowed if it's due to a newborn child or a child who has just turned 1 or 10 and alternate accommodation arrangement has not been made. Temporary, for example, if a member of the family comes to live in the home for a short time. Licensed overcrowding where local authority has given permission. So these are the 3 conditions where the overcrowding exceptions can happen. Now let's go back on visitor caseworker guidance and let's go to section 8. It clearly states for visa and permission to stay applications, you should look at the application form and any financial supporting document to assess this requirement. Now this is the Home Office is saying to the caseworker to do this. You should consider the likely cost of their stay One assesses any sources of revenue that will continue to be available to the applicant while they are visiting the UK. For example, someone will be giving them the funds, they're getting rent from somewhere, or they're getting any kind of revenue. You must also take into account any ongoing financial commitment that applicant has in their country of residence, such as rent, mortgage payment, and any dependents who they support financially, including those who are not traveling with them. Further, the guidance says their income or saving minus their financial commitment must be sufficient to meet the likely cost they will incur in the UK and be reasonable expenditure in light of their financial situation. Where an individual provides documents which show sufficient funds for their planned stay, but either all or most of these funds have not been held in their account for long, you may want to make further check to establish the origin of this money. Any funds relied upon by the applicant to demonstrate that they have sufficient funds. Now let's try to understand what if anyone taking public funds and asking their visitors to come and stay with them or giving them the invitation. In that case, an applicant will not be considered as having recourse to public funds simply because they will be relying partly or wholly on their sponsor receipt of public funds in order to satisfy the accommodation requirement. Therefore, if the sponsor receives certain benefits which they use towards payment of the accommodation, the requirement may still be satisfied. Let's suppose someone claiming housing benefit and they inviting someone to stay with them, where the sponsor would be entitled to additional public funds due to the applicant's presence in the UK. This will generally be considered public funds. For example, someone only getting £100 a month in benefit payment and they will be using this funds to support the applicant coming in the UK, then this will be a trouble and therefore prevent the requirement being met. However, if the applicant is applying from within the UK and the applicant and sponsor will be jointly entitled to benefits specified under Section 115 of the Immigration and Asylum Act, this will not prevent the applicant meeting the requirement. Now let's try to understand the evidence. So if we go back on visitor caseworker guidance and we click evidence section 6, this will tell us all the evidence. And if we go down, on the right side, we have this link. If we click this link and open it, this will give us another tab, Guide to Supporting Documents. Click on this. This was updated on February 2024. Gov.uk got everything on it. Like I said, I'm not a solicitor, not advising you anything. I'm just showing you what I have used, how I have used this guidance to apply visitor visa myself. So if we go down all the way, so this explains us travel documents, demonstrate of personal, etc, etc. But if we go down section 13, documents you should not use as evidence. This is important because many people are not aware of this. According to the gov.uk, documents you should not use as evidence. This is what the Home Office saying to their caseworker. Some type of documents are less useful as evidence in visit application. Now the word is less useful. It doesn't mean it will be a problem or it will be something huge stuff, but it's less useful. These includes bank statement or letter issued more than 1 year before the date of application. So very old bank statement will be useless. Credit card statement, driving license, educational certificate that are not listed as required for your visa. For example, you're applying visitor visa, so education certificates are not useful. Evidence of car ownership, personal photograph, notarial certificates, business cards, hotel bookings, flight bookings, unless transiting, photocopies of bank cards, certificates relating to leisure activities, for example, sports trophies, travel insurance, sponsor utility bills, sponsor council tax bills. These documents are less useful. You may be asked to provide additional information by the decision maker. Now, this is what the gov.uk saying to their caseworker. If we go up, we can see visiting the UK, guide to supporting documents. This is where it says all these things. On the left side, we have all other details. For example, if you wanted to know travel documents, demonstrating personal circumstances. If you have a sponsor, so this is what you need from the sponsor, what sponsor is being provided, and whether it extends to any dependent family, how this support is being provided. This person supporting has you enough funds to support themselves and their dependent. The relationship between you and the sponsor, this person supporting you is legally in the UK. For example, if they have British passport or residence doc, all these documents this is where everything is mentioned. On my channel, I've created loads of content regarding the skilled worker visa, sponsor license, benefits, everything from gov.uk. I'm not a solicitor. I'm not providing any services, any visa service or anything. I'm just showing my daily journey, how I have done.